he generally cannot hear anything. It's just true. Women are not like that. Women can be doing lots of things and holding 3 different conversations. Just, she'll walk into a room and she'll see her husband reading the newspaper. And she assumes, I multitask. Therefore, he must multitask. But he's running the newspaper reading program, man. He can only run one program at a time. He's not hearing jack. And this makes women very angry. But you just need to come over and you got to close the newspaper reading program. You got to load the Listen to Me program. But you got to wait a minute. He needs to reboot. I didn't know you was here. You know? You laugh, but I'm serious, girls. If you see a man doing something, unless he's wired differently, do not be giving him vital information. Because this is a train wreck waiting to happen. You'll have this conversation again. When you swear he told you, and he swears you never told him. You know you told him, but in his brain, you never said jack to him. The problem here is, guys, we get ourselves in trouble because men have this natural defense mechanism that at all costs, do not stop doing what you're doing. So when someone starts talking to you, we automatically have this defense mechanism that goes, uh-huh. Yep. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. And we keep doing what we're doing, and we're not, and she thinks you're listening to her. But you're not listening. You need to stop what you're big boys, stop what you're doing, turn to the girl, and pay attention to her. So it's not all on the ladies. You're big boys, when she starts talking, stop! Listen to the girl, and then let him go back to what he was doing. Sounds fair, right? Well, I started doing this, and I thought, this is great. I'm doing a lot better. I'm watching the single tasking thing. Yeah, okay, what? And I'll say, I didn't hear that. And I'll make her back up, and she'll tell me the info, and I got it. Okay. And I thought I was doing a lot better, but still I was getting myself in trouble. She'd walk up and say, it's 6 o'clock, are you ready? For what? That happened to half you guys tonight, right? We're doing what? I told you. No, you didn't. Yes, I did. And off to the races we would go. And I thought, man, what in the world? Because I'm watching this single tasking. I don't remember her saying anything about it. And I thought I was losing my hearing. So I went to a doctor. True story. I went to the doctor. And I walked in. He said, well, how you doing? I said, oh, okay. He said, what seems to be the problem? I said, well, I think I'm losing my hearing. And he says, well, you're getting up there in age, Ears are one of the first things to go. And I said, well, that's one of the first. I can handle that. We'll talk more about that tomorrow. But, so I said, well, go over to Nurse Cratchit. She'll test your ears, And so I follow the lady, and I walk into this room, and they got this cheap box on a table with some real chintzy headphones. And she says, all right, now, put on the headphones. When you hear the beep, raise your hand. If you don't hear the beep, don't raise your hand. Apparently, I look really stupid. So anyway, I turned around and we began. I said, pretty soon she goes, really, you can hear all that? And I turned around and said, yeah, why? She's hitting the box. I don't know, piece of junk. What's the matter with this thing? So what's the problem? She said, according to this, you can hear what cats and dogs can hear. I don't know what She's hitting a box. She says, I'm going to send you to a specialist. You ever been to the specialist? You know, they got this Yo Mama soundproof room, you know, the thick door, you know. You know, you got the person, you know, sitting behind the glass, you know. You feel like you're in a people aquarium.
Sir, would you sit down?
But anyway, so at the time we lived in Green Bay, Wisconsin, and right downtown Green Bay, there was a place called Eye and Ear Associates. I'd never heard of them before. I had no reason to hear from them. But she said, I'm going to send you these people. They have all this fancy equipment. And so she takes the doctor's pad and she writes Eye, Ear, and she abbreviates Associates and hands it to me. I said, what kind of doctor is this? It's a true story. She says, what do you mean? I said, I heard of eye, ear, and throat. I never heard of this.
She said, let me see that. Oh, I'm so embarrassed.
She wrote out Associates. I went, okay. Thought I was going to be in for a very uncomfortable test there for a minute. So I go to the eye, ear, and, doctor, and I get in there, and I sit down, and she's behind the glass, and she has to push the button to talk.
Okay, now put on the headphones. When you hear the beep,
spin around, and we began. I kid you not, she goes,
really, you can hear all that?
I felt like a moron, all right? I take the printout to the specialist. He goes, what are you doing here? You got better ears than me. I said, I don't know, man. She says, are you ready at 6 o'clock? I just want to know yet. So I go home and I walk in the door and she says,
well, what'd the doctor say?
She doesn't sound like that, by the way. I say that because people used to come up to me saying, she doesn't have a voice like that. I just do it for effect. By the way, we've been married for 32 years. We have 2 grandsons. Very cool. Beautiful boys. One's 10 months old, the other one's 8, and they are just such a delight. I love grandchildren because now it's payback. Come here. You want some more sugar? There you go. Okay. Bye. My son Philip's here with us. He's running the audio, and on our 30th wedding anniversary, Phil gives me a call up and he says, hey, Dad, 30 years. That's really something. I said, well, thank you, sir. I said, but truthfully, Phil, I said, it only feels like 10 minutes. He goes, really? I said, yeah, 10 minutes underwater. Oh, lighten up. All the girls.
Oh, I can't believe he said that. What is she going to think?
It's just the joke box, all right? Just a joke. So I come back from my ear thing. She said, well, what'd they say? I said, well, they said I can hear what cats and dogs can hear. She says, well, it's not your problem. Your problem is just don't pay attention. And I thought, but I've been paying attention. I was watching this single tasking thing, and so I thought, I'm going to do a test. I want to see how far she gets away before I can't hear her. So the next day we're sitting in the kitchen, and she comes up and she's talking to me, la 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 la, and I go, uh-huh. And then she walks a little bit further away. She says, la 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 la. I go, okay, I can hear that. And she gets a little further away, la 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 la, just doing multitasking thing. Then she goes into the living room, la 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 la. And now she goes into another room. She's now on the other side of the house, still talking to me. I said, hey! She yells back, what? I said, I'm on the other side of the house. She goes, you don't listen anyway. The next day, I caught her. This time she goes upstairs. She's on another floor, still giving me vital information. That's when it started dawning on me. Wait a minute. We might single task, but these women so multitask, they just keep doing what they're doing, and whether or not you're in the same area code is irrelevant. 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 That's the word. I had a guy the other day says, my wife's like that. She'll be talking to me. She's by the dryer, and she'll be telling me something important. La 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 la. Then she'll stick her head in the dryer, reaching for something. La 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 la. And boy, you better do that, or you're gonna be in big trouble. She still does that to me. We'll be like a real busy highway, just all kinds of noise, and she'll be talking. You know something that's really important? So you better be careful about it. What? I didn't hear what you said. Laws of physics, girls, it applies to you. It would help if your husband was in the same area code. Okay. Now, I first shared this story at a men's conference that I was speaking at, and I thought it was just a funny story that had happened to me. But as I'm sharing it, all these men's heads are going. I had one guy come up to me afterwards. He says, Pastor, I'll be in the bathroom. The door is closed. The fan is on. There's tile everywhere, so sound just bounces around in there. I'm standing there. All I can hear is the sound of rushing water. And she's still talking to me! Girls, don't be so multitasking that you're doing a gazillion things giving him vital information. All right? And especially if he's doing something. I'm telling you, this simple thing that I'm talking to you creates more arguments and more frustrations in marriages, and we're fighting over nothing. But you're really married to a multitasker when during a moment of intimate passion, she suddenly blurts out, "Oh, by the way, the plumber says the toilets are broken." Focus, woman, focus! But man, she can make love to you and plan next week's dinners and, just, think about the toilets. Oh, it's all the same to her. I need my tablet back up here. I want to show you something. In no other area, men's brains and women's brains, do men and women think more differently than in this area of sex. And we'll get into it in a lot more detail tomorrow. But I want to show you something here that I think will be of great interest to you. Give my lovely assistant a hand. Now, sex is a pretty big issue, particularly for men. For us, our sexual interest peaks at about age 18 and then goes down from there. So if you were to chart it out, it would look like something like this. It peaks at about age 18 and then goes down. And then you're dead. Now, something's important for women to understand. When it comes to this area, we're no longer driven so much by our brains or by our hearts, but it's by a chemical. It's called testosterone. And it runs through our blood. It runs through our blood, and it drives us crazy. You just... If you girls knew how much this drove us crazy, you'd be more disgusted with us than you are right now. We downplay it, man. And this, I'm telling you, and as funny as this little chart is, and as true as it is for so many men, if for some reason as a man ages, his testosterone levels begin to decline, his interest in sex will start to decline. And if his testosterone level drops dramatically, his interest will go way down. Same head, same heart, same guy, and now he's not interested in sex. You treat that man, and it's very easy to do, with testosterone supplements, and boom, he's the same wild man you married. Same head, same heart, same guy. Now he's, come here, baby. All right? So this is not because we're sickos. It's not because we're perverts. It's not because we're broken. God wired us this way, and he did it on purpose. Well, what was that purpose? I'm going to show you in a minute, but you just need to really understand this. And the truth is, when we get this rush of testosterone, it just messes with us. Now, for the love of God, don't raise your hands. But most men will admit that we usually receive a testosterone rush, usually very early in the morning, and for no reason at all. Dun 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 dun. 10 hot. And it just wakes us up. Just we're not thinking about anything. All right? And that's usually when a man reaches over and whispers those 3 words every woman loves to hear. Hey, you wait. We'll be talking more about that tomorrow, okay? All right, so why does God wire men this way? Okay, now to explain this, I need to do an anatomy lesson. Okay, y'all okay? Hang on, Margaret, he's gonna draw pictures. It'll be okay. We'll keep it clean, okay? Now, we'll call this the girl's heart. And in the interest of keeping everything at least PG-13, we will refer to this as the place of happiness. I had a lady come up to me recently and she goes,
Man, I can't even go to Walmart anymore. Smiley faces all over the place. It's like,
now, at some fundamental level, this is every man's basic interest in a woman. It's true. It's true. Now, women say, well, that's terrible. That's their shit.